They ask him whatever they want, right? And nothing he says can be held against him in that proffer. Nothing. And this is what they call a snitch session.
After years of silence, YNW Bortlen has finally broken his code of loyalty. And what he just revealed in court has the entire hip-hop world in shock. 6 years after the night that changed everything. Bortlen's explosive courtroom testimony has exposed secrets that can lock YNW Melly away forever. What started as a brotherhood built on music and money has now turned into one of the biggest betrayals in rap history. On September 9, 2025, the unthinkable happened. Bortlen took the stand, accepted a plea deal, and dropped information so shocking that even seasoned legal experts are calling it career-ending. The streets are divided. The fans are furious, and Melly's defense may have just collapsed before his retrial even begins. This isn't just a case anymore, it's a turning point that will change the definition of loyalty. In hip-hop forever, the courtroom in Broward County turned into a real-life movie scene when YNW Bortlen, once known as YNW Melly's right-hand man, officially took a plea deal that shocked everyone watching. After 6 long years of silence, loyalty, and denial, Bortlen finally made the move that no one thought he ever would. The same man who swore to never fold walked into that courtroom, looked the judge straight in the eyes, and accepted a deal that instantly changed the future of this case forever. Bortlen, whose real name is Cortland Henry, had been facing the counts of first-degree murder, the kind of charges that can bury a man for life. But instead of rolling the dice at trial, he accepted a plea deal that downgraded those life-ending charges to witness tampering, accessory after the fact to murder, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. In street terms, he just escaped a death sentence. The details of the deal were explosive. Bortlen received 10 years in prison and 6 years probation. But because he's already spent over 6 years behind bars, that means he could potentially walk free by January 2032. What looked like a death sentence suddenly turned into a countdown to freedom. But the price of that freedom? His silence, his loyalty, his reputation. And here's where it gets even more controversial. This video of this deal includes something called a proffer session. In simple terms, that's when a defendant sits down with prosecutors and tells them everything they know about a case. Every detail, every secret, every truth, all recorded under protection from self-incrimination. Legal experts call it a queen for a day session. The streets call it something else, a snitch meeting. Bortlen's legal team insists that he's not required to testify against Melly, and that his statements won't be used directly in court. But those who know how the system really works aren't buying it. Prosecutors don't hand out deals this sweet without getting something valuable in return. And in this case, that something could be the key that finally locks YNW Melly away for good. This move didn't just shock fans, it shook the entire hip-hop community. For years, Bortlen and Melly were seen as inseparable, childhood friends from Gifford, Florida, who turned dreams into hits, pain into platinum records. Now, that bond looks shattered beyond repair. The man who once shared the stage with Melly is now being labeled as the one who might have ended his career and possibly his freedom. What makes this story even wilder is the timing. Bortlen took this plea one day before his trial was set to begin, a calculated, strategic, last-minute decision that left even his lawyers stunned. It wasn't panic, it was chess. A move that may have saved his life, but destroyed the one person who once called him brother. The moment news of YNW Bortlen's plea deal hit social media, it was like a bomb went off in the hip-hop world. Twitter timelines flooded with accusations, reactions, and conspiracy theories. Fans who once saw Bortlen as Melly's ride or die couldn't believe it. The same man who stood silent for 6 long years had just flipped the entire story upside down, and the streets were calling it what they always do when loyalty cracks under pressure, a betrayal. Within hours, hashtags like #FreeMelly and #BortlenSNITCHED started trending across every platform. Rappers, bloggers, and even legal analysts jumped in. Some called it strategic, others called it snake behavior, but everyone agreed on one thing. Bortlen just changed the entire direction of the YNW case. The streets were saying, if you take a plea, you're admitting it happened, no matter how his lawyer tried to spin it. The culture had already made up its mind. People began comparing Bortlen's move to Gunna's YSL plea deal, where the rapper walked free after cooperating in the Young Thug Rico case. It sparked the same debate all over again. When does survival become snitching? And when does loyalty become suicide? In one of his freestyles, Bortlen even tried to defend himself, rapping, What I look like taking a deal that hurt my Melly? Free me and bro, but it was too late. The internet doesn't forget, and neither does the culture. Once that snitch label hits your name, it sticks like blood on concrete. Meanwhile, legal experts were analyzing the deeper meaning behind his plea. They pointed out that even if Bortlen doesn't testify, his proffer session could still destroy Melly's defense. Why? Because prosecutors can use what he said to find new evidence, strengthen weak points in their case, and prepare better questions for future witnesses. It's the kind of inside knowledge that no liar can protect you from. For Melly, this was more than betrayal, it was psychological warfare. Sources close to his camp revealed that he immediately requested new attorneys. After hearing about Bortlen's deal, he reportedly felt blindsided, calling it the ultimate setup. After spending 6 years behind bars waiting for a second chance, his legal team's entire strategy had just been ripped apart in a single courtroom session. The streets started seeing this situation as more than just a case. It became a symbol of a deeper problem. Young rappers coming from the trenches, rising to fame, only to get trapped in a system designed to pit them against each other. First they make it out together, then the system forces one to choose between life and loyalty. And when one folds, the culture burns them alive for it. For YNW Melly, this wasn't just a legal loss. It was personal. The boy he called his brother might have just delivered the testimony. That seals his fate. What YNW Bortlen did in that courtroom didn't just change his future. It might have just ended YNW Melly's. Legal experts are calling this plea deal a tactical earthquake, one that shattered Melly's entire defense in a single move. 4 years. Melly's lawyers claimed their client wasn't involved in the 2018 double murder of YNW Juvie, a YNW sack chaser. They argue that the state's theory that Melly shot his friends inside a Jeep and staged it as a drive-by was nothing but a fantasy built on weak evidence. But now, with Bortlen admitting to being an accessory after the fact, that fantasy suddenly sounds a lot more real. The prosecution now has what they were missing all along: validation. A co-defendant admitting, even indirectly, that something criminal happened that night. They don't even need Bortlen to take the stand. His plea itself is enough to give their entire case credibility. For Melly's legal team, it's like watching the foundation of their defense crumble in slow motion. Every strategy, every counter-argument they built over 6 years, gone in one decision. The worst part? The proffer. That one queen for a day session could become the state's secret weapon. Even though the court can't use his words directly against Melly, they can use the information he provided to uncover new witnesses, connect missing dots, and prepare a stronger narrative. That means by the time Melly's retrial starts in January 2027, prosecutors will be walking into court with ammunition they never had before, and all of it traced back to his former best friend outside the courtroom. The impact is just as devastating. Hip-hop fans who once saw YNW as a brotherhood now see it as a broken empire. What started as a dream built in the streets of Gifford, Florida has turned into a cautionary tale about how fame, loyalty, and fear can destroy everything. The YNW collective once represented unity. Now it represents how fast loyalty dies when the system applies pressure. Social media debates are still raging. Some people say Bortlen did what anyone would have done when facing life in a cell: survive. Others say he broke the code, sold out his brother, and destroyed his own legacy in the process. But one truth remains. In this game, freedom always comes with a price, and the symbolic moment that sealed it all, when Bortlen entered prison with his dreadlocks shaved off, hit the internet. Like a visual metaphor, the man who once walked beside Melly as a brother is gone. In his place stands someone completely different, reborn by the system, scarred by survival, and forever branded by the streets. This isn't just about YNW Melly and Bortlen anymore. It's about every young artist who thinks loyalty will protect them in a system built to break them, and that's the shocking truth behind YNW Bortlen's courtroom confession, a moment that might have just changed YNW Melly's life forever. The streets are talking, the fans are divided, and the justice system is playing its final hand. Was this survival or betrayal? Did Bortlen save himself or just destroy the one person who called him brother? One thing's for sure, this story is far from over. The next chapter could expose even darker secrets when Melly faces the retrial that could decide his fate once and for all. So what do you think? Was Bortlen wrong for taking the deal? Or would you have done the same if your life was on the line? Let me know your thoughts down below, And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the truth behind this case is only getting crazier. This is far from the end.